Now, you might not know this about that song, but when Ariana Grande released Sweetener, she was actually talking about mixing your Pokemon's attacking stats. A little bit of trivia for you. But wait, I can already hear you say, I'm as big of an Ariana Grande fan as the next guy. But when she asked me to make a mixed attacker on Pokemon, what exactly does she mean and what's she referring to? Now, that's a great question and the topic of today's video. But first, let me just write off monetization for this. And while we're at it, probably copyright strike and okay, yeah, we should be good to go. Mixed attackers in Pokemon I think can be a bit of a tricky concept to wrap your head around, as the metagame's offensive and defensive power continues to spike higher and higher. But to just define the term simply, a mixed attacker is a Pokemon that can attack the opponent with both special attacks and physical attacks. And at first glance, this might seem a little bit counterintuitive, because if you look at a Pokemon like Infernape here, sure, its attacking stats are tied, and it can be perfectly effective as either a special or a physical attacker, sure. But come on, if I want to get the most out of this Infernape as possible, I've got to max out one of these, right? I can't do both. Like, if I want this Infernape to be able to 2-hit KO a Vaporeon that's switching in on me, I've got no choice but to make it have max attacking stats and give it a choice band to sort of hit that 2-hit KO range. I don't have the EV points to kind of go willy-nilly and put a little bit into special attack and split it, surely, right? And while that's true, and it's really easy to get granular and hyper-specify your Pokemon's rules, sometimes that leads to you getting walled too easily. To demonstrate this, let's look at an offensive core that I've been using in some of my recent laddering videos, which features a Choice Specs Kyurem, who can smoke pretty much every physical wall in the game with its special attacking Ice Beam, and Urshifu Rapid Strike, who can in turn beat all the special walls. So theoretically, if these two are working together, they should be able to beat pretty much anything they come up against, right? Unfortunately not, because as good as these two are, there's nothing to stop my opponent from continuously swapping between the Pokemon that wall them consecutively. And as I broke down in my recent video on heavy duty boots, nowadays those walls aren't even necessarily taking accumulated chip damage from entry hazards and stealth rocks and stuff like that, so they can do it all day. So again, especially in a meta like ours with a lot of dedicated physical and special walls, mixed attackers can really shine. Let's take that Kyurem for example, who can scare out the Hippowdon just fine with its special Ice Beam, but doesn't really have anything for the Blissey that might swap in. If we adjust the Kyurem set just a little, so it's still a very effective special attacker, and add Icicle Spear, all of a sudden it can really threaten these special wall swapping in. I think it's easy to fixate on maximizing a Pokemon's attacking prowess on a specific side of the special physical split. But when you have a Pokemon with really good mixed attacking stats, like legendary Pokemon or pseudo-legendary Pokemon and some starters, you can get some really great mileage out of split attacking moves. One of my favorite examples of a very effective mixed attacker is the mixed Stealth Rock Garchomp. This Pokemon would come in and your opponent would think, crap, this thing's outrage is going to hit like a shipbrick house, I better get out of here. And so they'd switch to like a Landorus Therian or Hippowdon, who have great physical defenses. But after it would get up the rocks, boom, the Garchomp would uncork this massive Dragon Gem boosted Draco Meteor, which with even a little bit of EV support would hit like a nuke. And the best part is when your special attack falls by 2 stages afterwards, you're still a freaking Garchomp with base 130 attack, and you can still completely threaten your opponent without touching that now lowered special attack. In previous generations, of course, this was essential to have mixed attackers, as there's no special physical split at all back then, at least until Gen 4. And a Swampert, for example, had to use special moves if they wanted to attack with his water typing. But again, I feel like the current gens still have a lot to take advantage of with this, because in Sword and Shield, so many of the walls are either completely dedicated to physical or special. Mixed walls do still exist, and the most current iteration of Mandibuzz, for example, right now, it has split defensive EVs, so it can take hits from a Dragapult or an Urshifu, which is fine. But your average Clefable, for example, can't afford to do the same and split their EVs as much, and it's usually just one or the other. So example of this Clefable being punished in game could go like this. Your opponent says, okay, this Dragapult that I'm against has got Shadow Ball. I can afford to switch into it fine, and then Moonblast it afterwards. But then all of a sudden it reveals that it's a mixed attacker that can kill it with a Steel Wing. And this example also works flip too. So maybe your opponent sees the Dragapult use Dragon Darts instead, and thinks, okay, great, if it's a physical Dragapult, then my Hippowdon will wall it just fine. And then, that Shadow Ball is still going to hit really hard, etc. I honestly think this is why mixed attackers might become more and more common in Sword and Shield, as heavy duty boots lets dedicated walls come in more and more frequently and more easily. And this is especially true in lower tiers, where the walls oftentimes have less naturally mixed defensive stats. So yeah, I think that covers the basics of the concept. There's lots of little things I could go over, like how Psyshock lets your special attackers attack physically, or how defensive Pokemon can use split attacking moves too, or how some setup sweepers like to take advantage of both. But honestly, at this point, that kind of seems like overkill, because I want to hear from you guys on the topic. There are so many cool little examples of a mixed attacker being awesome that I want to hear what some of your favorites are. So hit the lab, maybe find some cool mixed attackers or cool mixed attacking concepts of your own, and let me know about your favorites in the comments below, because I've been looking to do a showdown live that features a mixed attacker, so I could really appreciate the suggestions. Otherwise, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for watching. Maybe throw me a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.